In a world where winter comes every year and no one ever prepares, Northerners struggle to stave off the cold. But this winter, a new hero comes to warm our toesies. Prepare yourself for the motion of a season with this year's greatest power and watch as it fights the world's greatest adversary, the cold. Guys, I need to apologize quickly. I'm going to be calling this stupid thing a Webago heater throughout this entire video. I am fully aware they are Webastos. Webasto, whatever you want to say. It's not a Webago. My brain keeps thinking Winnebago and Webasto and mixing them into Webago. So guys, welcome to the back of my garage. Little bit of a change up from my normal stuff that I do. I'm hooking up a better heating system in my garage. Right now I have a wood stove that is not great at keeping this place warm. So I want to set up something that I can just set it and forget it. Now, as you can see, I kind of have stuff like Jimmy rigged in here right now. And this is just me testing my proof of concept. I've proven that this works. I've proven that this steals a bunch of heat out of the exhaust and shoots it right back into the garage, and it's great. So what I need to do now is actually permanently, well, I say permanently, this wire hanger system here is probably going to stay. If you see here, I have this held up by a wire. But the rest of this can get plumbed properly. I mean, my exhaust right now out the door is currently using gasket maker to stop it from leaking. And this is using a rubber connector from a PGR tube to seal into here. And it doesn't seal very well, hence why I have this other wire that's holding it up. So I'm going to actually properly do this. Now, I'll show you guys quickly how to make a solder joint on a copper pipe. And then I'm just going to run through and pipe this all together. So that'll all be on time lapse. I'm going to try to use my GoPro. Pre-warning, GoPros suck. So, you know, if I lose a little bit of footage, I might lose a little bit of footage. But essentially, I have two of these Webago heaters. That's all that they really are. They're just a diesel Webago with, you know, an electronic control system. And we're going to plumb them in parallel so that the exhaust goes into the radiator and I get the exhaust heat from both of them. There is something that I did not originally think of that I had to go buy parts for, because right now you can only run one at a time. Otherwise, the exhaust gas from one goes into the other one and it just won't run. So I have something for that. So let me find my propane torch, which I definitely have around here somewhere. And we'll get started on making, for first we're going to do the exhaust and then we'll go and do the inputs. Now I do want to get this done as quickly as I can because it is cold in this garage. So this is going to be a real quick tutorial on how to solder a joint. And keep in mind, I am not a plumber. I have never claimed to be a plumber. I will never become a plumber. I learned how to do this kind of stuff on YouTube because I needed to fix a pipe in my house, in my old house. So I looked up how to do this. So first off, take a piece of emery cloth, clean up the joint that you're going to be soldering, then clean up the inside of whatever you're joining it to. This one's going to be an elbow. Next up, we're going to take our tub of rosin. They call this soldering paste, lead-free solder paste. Apparently it does the same thing. We're going to take the part that we just cleaned and we're just going to rosin it. Do not forget to do that because if you don't do that, you're not going to get adhesion. We're then going to take our joint, we're going to slip it on, we're going to have it together. We're going to put it somewhere we're not going to burn ourselves by doing this. Also going to take a welding glove. And we're just going to heat this up. I'm going to remove the plastic glove that is hanging there so it doesn't catch on fire. Before you do that, get your solder ready. You want plumbing solder. I mean, realistically, you don't really need plumbing solder because this isn't carrying water, but I did it anyway just because. So we're just going to heat it up. And once she's up to temp, you can see the solder is literally going to flow into wherever that rosin is. So once you have it kind of held, I find that the best way to get it to fill in your joint is to add the solder with it facing up. So essentially you want it so that the solder goes down into the joint. And the solder literally just flows in. You just touch it and it'll go wherever that rosin is. And I like to just make sure that I don't see any gaps in there. And then what I'll do is I'll just reheat it one last time and it'll reflow the solder. And we've got a nice solid joint. So that's how I'm going to be soldering. I don't know if that's the right way. I don't know if it's the wrong way. I don't really care. It works and it's watertight. So that's how I'm going to do it. Now, little thing about this, when you put your exhaust pipe out, make sure that you have a turn down. Because if you don't, you'll get water in your evaporator. And if you get water in your evaporator, you're going to have a real bad time because it'll freeze and then your exhaust won't get out and then you have to heat up your evaporator and it's a giant pain in the butt. So just don't do that. Okay, anyway, I'm going to start plumbing this in. So we're going to swap over to the GoPro and hopefully it doesn't do normal GoPro things because GoPros suck.
Pulling me closer. Oh, I gotta stay away, but you won't let me. No one makes me feel like you do, and no one sets my body on fire, and no one gives me shivers like you. Oh, no one does it better. And no one makes me feel like you do. And no one sets my body on fire. And no one gives me shivers like you. Oh, no one does it Oh, no one does it
Hey guys, my GoPro has lost its charge, so I just want to show you guys something that I'm tossing in there while I wait for it to charge up. It's these. These are check valves. Now, what a check valve does is only allows air to go one way. Pretty simple. I took the springs out of them because if you watch, okay, it's open. They'll still seal. I am a little concerned because it's on an angle, but even still seals. So I'm hoping that there's enough flow there to keep these closed when they need to be closed and open when they need to be open. So anyway, like I said, I'm just waiting for the GoPro to charge up. Now, I don't think that my radiator is going to be able to come off the wall now with the way that I have that plumbed. So that should be fun, but that's a problem for future, Matt. Another thing, I had this all set up in a different configuration where I had a little collector manifold for the two, and it didn't end up working. But unfortunately, I cut the pipes, so I need to now kind of bring this right up to the beside where the heater is going to go. I'm also going to have to do a little drop with 290s, but it is what it is. I mean, nothing that I can do about it, and I'd rather have them work than not, you know? So you can order new one of these, but I mean, what's the point? They do fit perfectly on 3/4 pipe. So this side is a little loose, but on the slip joints, so this slips onto 3/4. The outer diameter of this is like perfect for that. So 3/4 slip joint. The outside is perfect for these little pipes. Just wanted to update you guys while the GoPro charges. Another thing, you're going to need a 12-volt power system. I already have one in my garage. It's just a full-wave rectifier with multi-tap transformer, so I can adjust the voltage coming out of it. But yeah, I mean, you can literally just put a battery on a charger and it'll work fine. The only thing is you need a battery because these things draw a ton of power when they turn on. So just a heads up. Okay, let's get back to her. I think that the GoPro has about 15% charge now, so hopefully that'll be enough to finish this out. Okay guys, my GoPro died halfway through that, and now it's throwing a temper tantrum, so whatever, screw that thing. Plumbing is finally done, so let's turn these on and see what happens. Well, it's not usually good. That smoke comes out of the intake. I can hear water in the radiator, so I might have to shut it down to just one. Gotta open a door. Well, that ratchet just fell apart. So just for the time being, I'm going to put the check valve back in. Sorry, the spring back in the check valve. At least of one of them. And see if that'll seal. Went a bit too tight on that one. I just want the minimum amount of spring pressure, just enough that it'll close it. Okay, see what happens now. Oh, we're getting hot air out of this one now. And we have that exhaust completely open and nothing coming out. So this is working. This one's running, it's going. So next question, can we get this one to start as well? Will it work with that check valve in now that it's in? Oh, it's nice and warm too. Oh, it looks like it's going. It's spitting out a little bit underneath here. So I wonder if I turn that guy down to 2. The air is warming up out of it, but it's nowhere near what this guy's doing. I can hear this one struggling a little bit here. Hey, this one did not fire. I'm going to try a couple more times. I'll get back to you if I manage to get both of them running at the same time. Okay guys, so I was using a water to air heat exchanger for the radiator for the exhaust on this, and as you can see, it's no longer hung because what happened is all the soot from the exhaust plugged it up. So it's useless now. So we have to completely change the way that we are going to come at this. I've already started to pull my exhaust apart so that I can build a new one. And basically what my idea is I'm just going to make a great big exhaust loop, and we'll run both of the exhausts into this exhaust loop, and I'll just put a fan that blows the heat off of the exhaust loop out, because you need a large area for the exhaust to go through. Unfortunately, those little cores or whatever they're called in that heat exchanger were just too small. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a 1-inch copper exhaust loop with a 3/4 inch coming from the second one, meeting up about halfway through. That way the connection for where they're combining is further down the line, and hopefully that will prevent them from feeding their exhaust into each other and killing themselves. So right now I just have a single pipe going out just to get my garage warm, but this heater doesn't cut it, and there's a ton of heat just going out of the garage right now through that exhaust. So we're going to start building this up, and we'll see where we get. Okay, so connecting the exhausts does not work. Unfortunately, it just creates too much back pressure, pushes the exhaust into the other one. So what I'm going to do to remedy this is just build a second heat loop. I'll just take this 1/4 inch off, or 3/4 inch off. I'll extend it up and around and back out, and then we'll have 2 heat loops. This, though, this fan with this big exhaust pipe here works great. We're getting good heat off of this. I'm probably going to need to set up a microcontroller to control how fast this is running at what time, but that's a project for another day. For the time being, I just have a little manual box that essentially you press a button, it turns on, you press the button again, it turns off. And then it has a little rheostat on it so that you can adjust the speed of it. So for the time being, it's not super cold. I am going to order a little bit more 3/4 pipe and a couple of elbows, and I'll just make a secondary loop, and we'll go from there. I'll just leave that back check valve in, and it should be able to just kind of, you know, prevent the exhaust going out of the one. So that's unfortunate, but I mean, it's not the end of the world. There's a way to fix it, and maybe, just maybe, I'll be able to get that radiator to just run with one heater. I might be able to do that, actually. So I'll start looking into this. But anyway, if you're looking to do this in your garage and you have a smaller garage or a shop, like a little shed or whatever, one of these works fine. Like my garage is 20 by 40, and it's keeping it at about 0 degrees without any of this exhaust stuff. So, I mean, for a smaller shed or a smaller shop, this is plenty. Add this loop in, you'll be fine for probably about 400 square feet. And then doubling it up should double it up to 800 square feet. So, yeah, I will post an update once we get the second loop made. But for now, this is how you're going to want to build one of these. Essentially, you just want to put a loop in where your exhaust can go through, and then put a fan to pull the air off. Oh boy, the one that was working is now not working. So I will be doing some more testing. Okay, guys, this build was a roller coaster. Now, I did want to post it, though, because I do have a working heater now. I didn't record anything past this because it just was a whole bunch of wienering around. But essentially, you cannot use those check valves for whatever reason. They get stuck closed. They're meant for water. They're not meant for air. So don't try to put that in there. Now, another issue that I had is one of these heaters did not like sharing the power with anything else. The fan, the other heater, doesn't matter. As soon as you turn something else on that power source, it just would start being very unhappy. You would get a bunch of smoke. You wouldn't get proper ignition. It was bad. So I am in the process of putting a second 12-volt power system in my garage so that I can run 2 of these at the same time. Your mileage may vary. I don't know if this is just a finickier machine than the other one is, or if there's actually just they take too much power and my power supply is not powerful enough to do this. Again, they have a lot of initial power draw when they're first starting. Lastly, the thing that I use to power that fan, that's a 12-volt car fan, I think it's 12 inches. It's literally just this little 12-volt controller that I bought off Amazon. It's run your 12 volts in and then run your 12 volts out. It's very easy to set up. If you guys need a better rundown, just drop a comment below and I'll post a short showing how to wire that up. It's very, very basic. Anyways, I will be putting a second loop in for my second heater, and I will be running 2 heaters, and just that loop was more than enough. The fan was able to pull the heat off of that exhaust, and my garage was nice and warm afterwards. I did find that with the loop, I need to run the fan at about 80%, whereas with the cooler, I was able to run it at about 40 to extract all the heat off of the exhaust, but it is what it is. Honestly, I can turn it down when I'm doing the recording where I actually need to have audio and then turn it back up when I'm working. So that's the way that it's going to stay, I do believe. But if I end up changing it, I will drop a video and show you guys. I might also add a couple of extra just runs in that exhaust just to give it more surface area for the fan to pull off. I genuinely believe that that exchanger was overkill, considering how cold the exhaust was leaving it. And I think that that was also causing issues. It's probably what contributed a lot to the sooting. Just once the exhaust got too cold, it was dropping the soot right out of the exhaust. So, anyways, guys, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Hopefully this helped get you guys thinking about building one of these heater systems yourself. I mean, honestly, it was great for a little forced air system. It is a little noisy, but not horribly. And as long as you put the intakes on them, they're really not that loud. Again, they are Webasto heaters, not Webago heaters. And I also needed to take the one that has the voltage issues completely apart and clean it out because there was a bunch of soot. But these things are super easy to clean out. So if you guys want a video on how to take one apart and clean it, again, just drop it in the comments and I'll show you guys how to. Anyways, guys, I love y'all. Y'all beautiful. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I do a bunch of how-to videos. I post shorts every day. I post TikToks every day. I go live on both YouTube and Twitch daily. It's video game stuff, but hey, if you guys have questions, feel free to drop in there and ask them, and I will answer them for you. And other than that, I hope you all have a great day. Okay, bye!